lies will be exposed.
Oh, boy. Hey, here's a video here from Case Study QB. Please be sure to follow him on all the social media. But here we go, folks. Hold on. Let me just go ahead and reconnect this again and reconnect because we lost the audio connection there. So let's go ahead and get restarted again. But reporting on social media companies face new challenges in curbing election lies. Who fact checks the fact checkers? Last I checked, remember when Facebook and Twitter at the time silenced and suppressed that story about the Hunter Biden laptop story? Anybody remember that? Who fact checks the fact checkers? Remember when CNN had 50 confirmed experts saying that story was fake news? Then it turned out a couple of years later the story wasn't fake news and it was very, 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 very true.
In the wake of the January 6th Capitol insurrection, major...
God, I keep talking about January 6th. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pause that early on, but God damn it, January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. It's like that ex-girlfriend that keeps on bringing up the same fight over and over again. Like, my God, come up with something new. Come up with something new, Democrats. Is this all you have? Is this all you have, corporate media? January 6th.
In the wake of the January 6th Capitol insurrection, major social media platforms responded by suspending accounts that spread misinformation. But since then, the social media industry has undergone a dramatic transformation, and now stopping the spread of such lies is actually harder. CNN tech reporter.
What? I remember when good old Zuckerberg was saying, "Oh, gee, I'm so sorry I helped with censorship," and then it keeps on censoring. Facebook and Instagram. Yes, Heartland's Media is on Facebook and Instagram, but the thing is, when we post content there, it doesn't get engaged as much, especially on our Facebook page. I remember Daniel working 24/7 trying to get more views. And the thing is, whenever we posted anything from corporate media, it got the views and the likes. That was way early on in Heartland's Media's infancy. And then, if we ever posted anything like original work, 0 views, 0 likes. It's almost as if it's designed a way to silence free speech voices.
Brian Fung is joining me now from Washington. Brian, experts who study election misinformation are saying their jobs have gotten harder since 2020. Why?
Oh no! Their life is getting harder now. Why?
Yes, Sarah, really, this is about a big shift from the 2016 to 2020 period when a lot of social media companies invested heavily in content moderation and election misinformation efforts to now rolling back a lot of those investments and saying we now don't need as much in the way of policies about that. You had companies engaging in mass layoffs, beginning with X, formerly Twitter, but then those also spread to other companies as well, hitting their trust and safety teams. And you had companies like Meta and YouTube, allowing things like lies to be platformed.
What lies? Because every time we got hit, we talked about. I remember the one in particular really ticks me off to this day. We were covering January 6th and what was happening. And yes, YouTube's and the internet, Biden was president, but we were covering the event. But yet the big brain people say that we weren't saying that at all. Or when we covered the story how CNN was smearing Joe Rogan, we were giving medical misinformation. We never once said anything about about anything, about any vaccine or anything like that. We were just covering a story how CNN was smearing Joe Rogan. Or how the Democrats are losing, or how Jimmy Dore was correct about the squad. What lies? What lies? What lies? Again, folks, just gotta keep bringing this up. What lies? What's happening right now? Corporate media realizes that people aren't buying their BS anymore.
All lies will be exposed,
as it should be.
Once again on their platforms, claiming falsely that the 2020 election had been stolen. So a lot of fact checkers have been telling me, look, this makes it a lot harder for us to do our jobs. And in fact, one of them, Baybars Orsex from Logically Facts, a fact checking organization, told me the impact of layoffs, budget cuts in journalism programs, and the crackdown on trust and safety teams at X and other major platforms have set troubling precedents as we approach the upcoming elections. Now, that's not the only thing that's happened. We've had GOP officials at all levels of government engaging in a broad campaign to discredit content moderation or to pass laws seeking to make content moderation by tech platforms harder. They've also engaged in lawsuits, filing lawsuits against the Biden administration, for example, that had sought to undermine partnerships between the U.S. government's election security teams and the tech companies, where the two sides would talk about election security threats to the U.S. election security infrastructure, and that had also been coming under attack by Republican officials in Louisiana and in Missouri. So all of this altogether has really contributed to a culture of intimidation that has made it raise the political costs of implementing some of these policies and programs by tech companies. And as one,
you know what this is? What we're hearing here is how if Kamala does get elected, now I'm not saying things would be better under Trump, but I do have this fear that if Kamala is elected, I mean, boy, oh boy, the censorship. Yeah, I mean, you're not only walking around eggshells, you're walking around electrified bear traps that if you step on them, not only going to lose your leg, but you're going to get like, what, 50,000 volts juiced into your body and you're going to get cooked. That's what's going to happen. How do I know this? Because look what happened under the Biden-Harris administration. 4 years. Now, there's a lot of colleagues I know in independent media that have lost their channels or are permanently demonetized. And this is bad. It's bad news bears all around.
Academic from George Washington University told me, quote, the platforms only ever took this as seriously as they felt they needed to. And with some of these changes since 2020, the pressure has now lifted on these companies to maintain the same level of vigilance that they had before. Sarah?
And if anything tells you that, the head of one of those companies has been reposting lies about the election.
Oh, they have to make a dig at Elon Musk. Look, corporate media, you have made Trump into your nightmare and helped contribute to liberals having full-blown panic attacks. I can't help it. Liberals, that you guys are not serious people. But you need to get Elon Musk and Donald Trump out of your brain. All right? You clearly are fixated on them.
How are researchers adapting to this new difficult environment?
Yeah, well, researchers say that they are trying to adapt to this new and more difficult environment. For example, even though researchers have lost access to much of Meta's platforms because Meta shut down a critical monitoring tool called CrowdTangle, and they no longer have access to Twitter or X because they've raised the cost of accessing that data, they say they're still looking at ads, still looking at TikTok, still looking at Telegram and other apps to see what they can find out ahead of the election. Sarah?
All right. Brian Fung, thank you so much for...
Yes, I know. So again, let's rewind us here real quick here, because again, they're saying how difficult and hard it is for fact checkers to be covering the truth. So one more time.
Of the January 6th Capitol insurrection, major social media platforms responded by suspending accounts that spread misinformation. But since then, the social media industry has undergone a dramatic transformation, and now stopping the spread of such lies is actually harder.
Harder? Geez, things are getting hard. Well, hey, listen, life is hard, but you know what? You don't have to make life hard. I like to listen to this wise person because I just want to add in some humor in here because I am ever fearful of the jackboot of censorship.
I always try to make his penis hard, not his life. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
That's very valid.
Yes,
Yeah.
make his dick hard, not his life. So he will make your pussy wet, not your eyes.
I did that just only to trigger the libs because I know that they're going to be like, well, gee, kid from Heartlands Media, you need to take this seriously. Kid from Heartlands Media, why are you always making fun of the Democrats and corporate media? Don't you see that Trump is a threat? No, I don't care if Trump wins. I don't care if Jill Stein or libertarians get 5% of the vote. And no, actually, I am going to care if Kamala wins because I'm worried about that censorship being put up to 11. That is my fear. That is my fear. I'm not saying Trump would be any better, but Kamala, poof, we're after seeing 4 years of Biden. It will make everyone's life difficult and hard, and not the fun kind either. It's going to be a miserable nightmare all around. Anyone that tried to post that Hunter Biden laptop story, they either got locked out of their account got terminated, or they couldn't share it at all, period. Everybody tried across the political spectrum on Facebook and Twitter before Twitter was bought by Elon Musk. Isn't it a nightmare? Isn't it a fascinating, disgusting nightmare that we're in, where the one tool that liberals and corporate media like to use is censorship because they want more fact checkers. Now, Facebook and Instagram, they got the Zuckerberg. And I, for one, didn't believe his little crocodile tears and apology. He's not sorry what he did. I mean, everyone talks about the Twitter files, but never forget, Zuck even mentioned on Joe Rogan's show about how Facebook even got a knock at the door from the political police. There's the Facebook files too. Hell, I'm very curious about the YouTube files. I'm very curious about all the files out there because there is that ever threat of the silencing and suppression of independent media. We have to be careful out there, folks. But the fight for free speech will be ongoing no matter who sits in the White House. But these fact checkers, folks, let's have democracy in the chat. Let's have a true democracy in the chat. When have these fact checkers ever been correct on social media? Type 1 for Kit. They're constantly vigilant. And what's happening now, especially on X, Twitter, is terrible. And these fact checkers are doing their job, and we need them because they've never once led us a wrong way. Type 2, man, fact checkers. Who fact checks the fact checkers? Who's fact checking those fact checkers? Are there any fact checkers out there? Life is difficult enough as it is already. This 2024 election cycle, I said it was going to be the most hilarious and most interesting. But the fight for free speech, that's going to be the most important thing to care about. Not who sits in the White House. Free speech is the major issue to fight for. Because if we lose that ability here in this country, you better believe that the establishment and corporate media will do everything they can to make sure it is gone forever.
You know, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
Hoped you would never find out. Know that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind out, trying to tell you so. I've tried to block the light out. Know you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands out, trying to keep you close. Trying to keep you I really want to set you free, but I really want to let you be. And a part of me wished I could set myself aside, just let you take the ride, just chalk the rest up to destiny. I could let you believe that the only restraints in life are the size of your dreams. Let you believe each kid grows up with the world at their feet. When I know too well it's open season, I know they're taking stock and raising stocks and raising stock. And I'm simply not here to sit and watch as you learn the lesson all cogs are taught. Keep your head down and keep to task and just keep on blocking the rest of it all out. Just keep on with the rest of the herd of a million adjacent oblivious workers. The forest unseen for the trees, and the trees unseen for the fallout. Now what's more damning, baby, the truth or the ignorance? Fuck it, I honestly wonder if I see the answer so well. Baby, believe me well, I know it's scary, I scare myself. If I could find a way out of my head, I would run like hell. I would ditch this body politic, mindless occupant somewhere far from the dismal abyss. In the tranquil crystalline bliss of the beach, I could rest with the rest of the shells. And if anyone asks I'm anywhere else, if I'm really needed, just light the candle, then read the book, and then ring the bell. Oh, my untarnished heart, My little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your worth and then demand 1,000-fold. It's full of greedy pigs who'll eat you out of house and home. They'll strip your bank account and sweep you somewhere down the road, and then return to eat your tent and shitty bike you rode. Your bottled water, only shoes and coat and broken phone. Then smiling in your face, they'll tell you that the shelter's closed.
When you are not with where majority of Americans are, then, you know, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
Hoped you would never find out. Knew that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind out, trying to tell you so. I tried to block the light. I knew you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands out, trying to keep you close. Trying to keep you Oh, my untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your worth, then demand 1,000-fold. I tried to block the light just so I could keep you close.